Welcome back to Yahoo Finance Live, everyone. Now, Piper Sandler has released their 43rd annual Taking Stock with Teens survey, and it gives us a sneak peek into what Gen Z is buying. So here's some of the data. Not surprisingly, teens do most of their shopping on Amazon, with 53% saying it's their top shopping website. Now, with fast fashion brand Shein coming in at second at 8%, you have Nike at 6%, and PacSun at 2%. Now, Nike is also the top clothing brand among teens, along with Lululemon, H&M, American Eagle, and Adidas. Now, the teens are spending a little over $2,000 per year. Now, that's actually an increase. It's up 9% from last year, and that's despite our current trend of record high inflation. And when they are shopping, most teens are using Apple Pay. That makes sense because it coincides with that trend of shopping online on social media. And of course, most teens actually own an iPhone. I believe it's about 87%. Now, according to the survey, about 30% of teens have purchased items directly from social media sites. And even when you look at the top social media sites they're looking at, TikTok finally overtook Snap, something I think a lot of us knew was inevitable. And at number 3 is Instagram. So, Brad, I want to bring you in here. What are some of the most interesting findings you saw here?
It's more of a question mark, actually, and perhaps a Danger Will Robinson type of moment for meta platforms, if you will, because 48% of teens are either unsure or not interested in the metaverse. Now, there are a lot of companies that have made significant investments in trying to make sure that a virtual reality in the future is one that can be transacted within, one that can have different gaming experiences, entertainment, and even perhaps some of your workplace experience also intertwined within that. And so that is something that we're going to be watching closely. One of the things that we've talked about in the past, and something that I'm going to be watching most notably within the future of social media at large, it's still going to come down to the devices that we're engaging on. 26% of teens own a VR device. 5% use it daily. And so those numbers, if they continue to tick higher, that would give some credence perhaps to some additional growth of the metaverse and whatever that reality may look like. And for one of the brand preference rankings that you mentioned a moment ago with Nike, whether that acquisition of Artifact to have some Jordan 1s on your feet in the metaverse, whether that makes sense too. So it's really kind of the takeaways around the metaverse that kind of caught my attention within this. Dave, I'd love to know what really stood out to you.
Well, that was the exact thing that stood out to me, was the disinterest in the metaverse combined with Facebook really being a non-issue for teens. No surprise that TikTok was the #1 website. I'm a parent of, or a social media app. I'm a parent of 2 teenagers. It was that number we just showed, 4.2 hours a day teens are spending on social media, which is a little bit concerning for a parent of those 2 teenagers. So that was interesting. But I also thought it surprising that 71% of teens believe the economy is getting worse. Now, that is up from 46%, then 56%, and now it's 71%. And while you can understand that, what the surprising issue is there, only 4% of teens said they were concerned about inflation. So for most of us, we feel like the economy is getting worse solely because of inflation. When you ask Americans as a whole, adults, they all point to inflation as the #1 issue, but it was not for kids. So why do they think the economy is getting worse, if not for inflationary reasons? So that was a bit of a strange issue in terms of consistency, but I guess I don't expect that with all of our teens. Russia and Ukraine, the top concern for teenagers, 13%. Very worldly. Not that it's comforting to know that our teenagers are worried about Russia and Ukraine, but a lot of adults just assume that our kids are not paying attention to the news cycle because they spend so much time on social media. But the truth is that is where our kids, where our teens are getting their news, and they are informed on these issues, even if they're not all good, Rochelle.
Very true. And we must also remember, a lot of them are listening to us in the conversations that we're having as well. And obviously, if you see your parents worrying, that's maybe going to make you worry about how financially secure you are.